Hello everyone, my name is Tianling Cheng and you can also call me Ray. And today we'll be covering Unit 4 of AP CSA programming language Java, which is about iteration. And the subtopics we're covering are going to be about while loops, for loops, developing algorithms using strings, and nested iterations. And so firstly, what are loops? Loops allow us to repeat blocks of code, providing a way to perform repetitive tasks without the need of repetitive code, which helps automate the process. And for while loops, a while loop executes repetitively as long as the condition remains true. And so in this example, the variable count is initially equal to 5. And while the variable count is less than or equal to 10, the output will be the count will be printed, and at the end of each iteration, count's value is given a +1, and therefore the output of this whole while loop will be equal to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and that's the effect of a while loop. And for for loops, a for loop is another type of loop that allows us to iterate over a sequence of values. After each iteration, the increment or decrement statement is executed, and the loop continues until the condition is not satisfied. And so, for example, in this for loop, the variable count is initially equal to 1, and when the variable count is less than or equal to 5, count is given a +1, and each time the for loop is iterated, the value of count will be printed, and the outcome of this for loop will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so developing algorithms using strings. Strings are an essential data type in programming, and we can apply iteration to manipulate them. We can iterate over each character in a string. And in this example, there are two variables. The first one being a string variable called result, and the second one being a string variable called new world, and which contains the string hello world. And in this for loop, with the variable I initially 0, and the condition that I will be less than new world.length, I will be given a +1 after each iteration. And for the body of the for loop, the result will be given the substring of new world from I to I plus 1 and plus result. So in this case, if we traverse when we traverse I equals to 0, result will be equal to new world dot substring 0 to 1, which will contain the first letter of the new world variable, which will be H, and since result was empty, it will be plus empty. And when I equals to 1, because I will be given a +1 after each iteration, this substring will be equal to 1, 2, and that'll be E. So what this for loop basically does is it reverses the string contained with the new word, and so the output will be the reversion of hello world. And for nested for loops, nested iteration involves using loops within loops, allows iteration over multiple dimensions and written more complex algorithms. And so in this example, when I equals to 0 and I less than 7, I++, and for the for loop nested inside the for loop, when variable y is equal to 1 and y is less than or equal to 5, y will be given a +1. And so the total amount of this could be calculated by the total amount of stars that will be printed could be calculated by the times the outer for loop will iterate times the inner for loop will iterate. So in this case, for the outer for loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are all numbers that could that sustains the condition, and so there are 6 numbers in total. So it'll iterate 6 times. And for the inner for loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all under condition. So the total amount of stars that will be printed should be 5 times 6, which equals to 30. So the total amount of stars should be 6 rows, and each row should contain 5 stars. And that's how we calculate the total amount of times that a nested for loop will be ran. And that's it for this unit. Thank you for watching.